During the campaign, it was promised that there would be no increase in taxes to finance this promise. That promise of no increase in taxes was never kept. The government imposed approximately $14 billion in new taxes. This has had a negative impact even on the livelihood of the 200,000 plus PAYE beneficiaries who have had to face increased prices immediately on electricity, gas, transport, and foodstuffs. But let us not forget either that for the benefit of this 200,000 plus, the rest of the population who did not get any tax relief have faced a devastating impact on their lives. The cost of the tax plan, phase 2, cannot be absorbed to any great degree on the basis of tax compliance, but would necessarily involve additional taxation. Nor, Mr. Speaker, contrary to what was attributed to the minister in the press, it cannot be paid for out of property taxes for which there is a commitment in the fund program to raise the take from 0.4% of GDP to 0.9%, because property taxes by law are to the account of the local authorities and not available to central government. In addition, the government is currently negotiating wage contracts with the public sector workers who are all going to be facing tax increases. I expect that the public sector workers will be demanding more, and indeed they deserve more. I think even the minister agrees, and the Prime Minister, that they deserve substantial increases, especially now that the wage freeze has ended. So the government must brace itself for greater expenditure on those items as well. The government has stated also that in order to meet its commitments on the primary surplus targets, it will not rely on the drawdown of resources from the National Housing Trust. So, looking at all of these commitments made, for the most part, in the context of politically motivated needs of an election campaign, there's this $16 billion flowing from phase 2 of the 1.5, $11 billion to be absorbed further to meet the targets on account of not drawing down from the NHT, and even on a conservative estimate that the wage bill increases, as it did in the last wage negotiations, by 7.5% over the 2 years. We're looking at an additional $13 billion spread over 2 years, or $6 billion per annum. That involves approximately $30 billion more of financing on the expenditure side of the forthcoming budget, which will have to be financed for the most part through taxation. All I can say is that if you're looking at that level, then may God help Jamaica and may God help the Jamaican people for what they will have to face.